Okay, this video is going to tell you a little bit about angles and how to draw them using Google Drawings. So the first thing I want to do is tell you a little bit about angles. And angles are two line segments or rays that meet at the same point. So there's actually four different types of angles. We're going to go over three of them in the video. Um, there's acute angles, right angles, obtuse angles, and straight angles. And each angle is identified by the size of the angle. So each angle type is identified by the size, how big it is. And angles are named by the outermost points on the rays or line segments, and the vertex is labeled in between those two letters. So I'm going to show you that as well. So first we're going to start with an acute angle, which I have labeled up here. So we're going to put that up here, and I'm going to start by making two rays. But an acute angle is an angle that is larger than 0 degrees, but it's smaller than 90 degrees. So first I'm going to make two rays, and I'm going to start here, and here's my first ray. I need to start with a point and end with an arrowhead, and then I'm going to draw another ray to make it smaller than 90. I don't need to draw anything as a start, but at the end I'll draw an arrowhead. And now I have two rays. The only thing I need to do is label those rays with points. So I'm going to put a point towards the end of each ray. And I'm going to give it a label. So we'll put a label here. We'll change this. No. We'll change this to, we'll say C. And we'll move another label up to the other point. That'll remain A. And this one will be B. So this is an acute angle, and if you look at this ray right here, this could be identified as 0 degrees. So as you can see, this space is bigger than 0 degrees, but then if this was 0, 90 would be straight up and down. So you can see that this space is smaller than 90 degrees. So that makes an acute angle. We would call this angle ABC. The vertex, which this is the vertex where both rays meet, that letter always goes in the middle. So we could call it angle ABC or angle CBA. Doesn't matter, but the vertex always goes in the middle. Now we're going to draw a right angle. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to make a line, and I'm going to, actually I'm going to delete this real quick. Now I'm going to draw my line. And I'm going to start with a point. I'm going to end with an arrow. And then to make it 90 degrees, I need to make another line. I'm going to line it up as best I can with this and try to put it in the middle of my vertex. I'm going to go straight up from there. And I'm going to end with an arrow. So a right angle is an angle that is exactly 90 degrees. So right angles look like the corner of a square, and you can kind of see that based on this picture here. You should see the corner of a square right there, and that forms a 90-degree angle. Now I need to put my points on here. One point here, one point here, and and I need my labels. I'm going to copy these again. And I'm going to put one here. I'll call this point J. And we will label this point K. And the last one we will label as point L. And so we would call this angle JKL, or we could call it angle LKJ. But as you can see, this is a 90-degree angle, forms a square corner. It's called a right angle because it's 90 degrees. The last angle we're going to draw is an obtuse angle, and an obtuse angle is an angle that's greater than 90 degrees. So it's greater than this right angle, so it'll be a bigger space, but it's less than 180 degrees. So 180 degrees would be a ray that comes straight out. So it would look like a straight line, and it'd be all the space in between here. So obtuse angles are larger than 90 degrees, but smaller than 180 degrees. So we're going to draw that right now. And what that looks like is we'll start here with our baseline. We're going to make it into a ray by putting a point at the vertex and an arrowhead at the end. So now it's a ray. And then I'm going to draw another line from the same vertex and just make an arrowhead at the end. And I'm going to put my points on. I'll put a point there. And now I need to label. This point we'll just call point X. Whoops. And this we'll call point Y. And the next we will call point Z. So this angle would be called angle XYZ or angle ZYX, but the vertex is always in the middle. And it's an obtuse angle because it's bigger than 90 degrees, so the space is larger than a square corner, but it's smaller than a straight angle, which would be 180 degrees, and the ray would come straight out. So this is an obtuse angle. Hopefully this helps you understand acute, right, and obtuse angles and helps you with your assignment.